What's up, guys? My name is Angel. I am a channel and also an alchemist and just an all around me. Anyway, so and I'll really show you some titles and stuff. But anyway, so today we're going to talk about the 7 Hermetic Principles from the Kabbalah. One of my favorite books to read, and the reason I feel like things are important is because they help you to really come into the consciousness of yourself. So today we're going to get into it. So the first principle that we're going to talk about is called the principle of mentalism. And I got some notes over here to the side, so if I look off, I'm just looking at the notes. Normally I'd put them in front of me, but I put them to the side today. That way I'm not looking down, because I'd rather just look off than look down. But anyway, whole nother story. Anyway, the first is the principle of mentalism. What does that mean? It means that the all is mind, the universe is mental. Everything is mental. Everything comes from a thought. Phones, it had to be a thought before it was here. AI was a thought before it was created. Everything is a thought. So in order for, that means that everything we think, we can create. So essentially that means that we create our own reality. So how we think, we create what we want. So we live in a world now where we feel like we have to do this, that, and the third in order to get what we want. But in reality, if the universe is mental, if we think it, then our higher self will put us in the flow of getting to what we want. And that's how we create it. That's why the universe is mental. Everything is mental. There is nothing. It's all mental. It's all thought. It comes from thought. So that's why it's important to go into that subconscious mind and clear out those things that don't serve you, so that you can bring in things that do serve you, so they can lead you down your highest path, so that you're able to walk in alignment with who you truly are. And it's all about going within to find those answers. So the universe is mental. The principle of mentalism is the first principle. Everything is mental. Everything is a thought. Everything was created from thought. Even if we go back and look at Thoth, Thoth's name means thought. So, and he was considered to be like the everything. He had all the answers, all the knowledge. He was the everything. It was thought. Everything he did was through thought. So that's first. The universe is the principle of mentalism. The second one is the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. Which means that we are everything. Everything works together. Everything works in correspondence. Everything is everything. As above, so below. As within, so without. So just as the universe is infinite, it has infinite amount of information. We have infinite amount of information. We're infinite beings. We have no limits on who we are. When we put limits and fears and beliefs on us, then we limit the fact of who we are. The principle of correspondence, everything, as above, so below, as within, so without. So what you put out is what you get back in. So if you're having a bad day and you're putting out negative energy, you're going to get that energy back. You ever notice that if you're having a bad day, you start being surrounded by people that are also having a bad day? And that's how you guys connect. You're having a bad day in person. Well, how are you? Well, my day's just rough. And then there's like, yeah, mine is too. But if you change that thought, let's go back to mentalism. And it might start off bad and realize that what shows up for me is for me. And say, you know what, that really wasn't that bad. I'm just making it bad just because. And then that person normally will go, yeah, you're right. Because everything is mental. It's about how you think. So when you put out that energy of this is bad, that's what you're going to receive back. But if you find that situation and you look in that situation and you realize, you know what am I to learn from this? Then you put out positive energy into that, then you're going to get that same energy back. So the principle of correspondence is principle number 2. As above, so below. As within, so without. Number 3, the principle of vibration. This is a good one. So the principle of vibration is that everything is always in motion. Nothing rests. Everything has a vibration. What we have to do is attune to that vibration. When we attune to that vibration, then we can hear the vibration of that object. Everything is always in motion. Everything. Energy is always in motion. Vibration. Everything has its own vibration, even down to bugs. Bugs have their own vibration. If we can attune to that, we can hear their vibration. Trees have their own vibration. Everything has vibration. Everything is always in motion. Nothing rests. So when you think like, oh, that, like even us, when we think we're resting, we're still in a state, we're still in a flow, in a vibration, because nothing rests. Everything is vibration. So energy is vibration. Energy is always in motion. So you got to think, again, it goes back to the principle of correspondence. What you put out is what you get back in. So when you change your mental and take the situation in front of you from being bad to a positive and learn what you're supposed to learn from it, then you're putting out that positive vibration, and that's what you're going to get out, because energy is always in motion. It never rests. So the principle of vibration is number 3. Number 4, The principle of polarity, and I'm going to read a little bit of this. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half truths. All paradox may be reconciled. So what does that mean? So a great example would be the sun and the moon, right? The sun during the day gives us light, and then the sun and then the moon at night brings it's dark. But the sun never goes away. It just shines on a different part of the earth. The moon never goes away. It's just dark on a different part of the earth. Everything has a positive and negative. Everything has feminine and masculine. Everything has a positive and negative. So let's go back to the principle of correspondence. Let's look at how the situation, it may be a situation that come up and you could view it as negative, but if you move to the opposite side of the spectrum, because it has an opposite. So you may see it as negative, but if you say, wait a minute, is this negative? Let me find the positive in this. Let me put some positive energy into it. You just took that negative situation and turned it to a positive. So you moved it from the opposites to the opposite side of the spectrum, because you have to have that opposite to have balance. You have to have light and dark to have balance. So when you find that balance in the middle, you'll realize that everything is energy, and energy is always emotion, and that you control everything that's in your path. It's all about how you think. It's all about what energy you're going to put into it, or what energy you're not going to put into it. And that's the principle of polarity. So everything has its opposite. So we got to figure out which opposite end we want to be on. We want to be on the positive opposite end, or we want to be on the negative, because whatever energy you put out is the energy you're going to get back, because vibration is always in motion. It always flows. All right. Principle number 6. The principle of rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swings, manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. That kind of goes back to what I was talking about with the principle of polarity. Everything has a negative and everything has a positive. The pendulum will go one way and it'll go the other way. It's always swinging, because energy is always in motion. But you have to figure out, how do you find that perfect balance of that perfect string, of that perfect swing? Because we take the thought, okay, when we're enlightened, when we're spiritual people, everything's always positive. Well, it's positive because we create the positivity around it. We realize that what shows up for us is for us, and we don't focus on what the situation is. We focus on what we're to learn and how we're to move forward in a positive way. That way we don't have to repeat that same pattern. See, what happens when the things show up that are negative in front of us and we hold on to it as negative, oh, that sucks. It just repeats itself, because that's how rhythm works. It's going to come back again. You didn't learn your lesson this time. Well, let's learn it. Let's do it again. And until you can move that pendulum from the negative side to the positive side, or find that perfect balance, then you keep that same rhythm, that same cycle over and over. Because what? I've said it 10 times. Energy is always in motion. It never, like vibration, it doesn't rest. It's all about the mental. It's all about how you change the situation that's in front of you. Sometimes I know it may seem like things happen and we're like, why did this happen? Well, a lot of things that happen are for you. We might not understand in that moment. You might not understand till 10 years down the road, but things that happen is always for us. So what shows up for us is for us. That's super important. The principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. What do I take from this? What do I see when I see cause and effect? Cause and effect, I go back to energy. Energy is always in motion. Because I put out positive energy, I'm going to receive back positive energy. Because I put out negative energy, I'm going to receive back negative energy. You ever realize when you wake up and you stub your toe and you're like, my day's going to be bad? That's the energy you already put out for the whole day. And that energy, because of that energy, that's going to be the effect of your whole day, because you're going to get here and something else is going to wrong. You're going to get here and something else is going to go wrong. You're going to get here and something. That's the effect of that cause. But let's say you wake up and you stub your toe, boom. And you say, what am I to be aware of right now? What do I need to see? You might look down in front of you and there may be something that you don't need to step on that would hurt worse than you stubbing your toe. But because you took a second to ask yourself, what do I need to see? You put out positive energy. It wasn't negative. It was like, okay, I need to figure out what's going on. What do I need to pay attention to? Because that happened, the rest of your day will be in that positive state. Things will just happen that will go in your flow. And that's what cause and effect is. We associate cause and effect as a negative thing, but it's not. It's kind of a neutral thing. All of these are neutral. All of these go back to the principle number one, the principle of mentalism, how you deal with the situations and things that are in front of you, what energy you put out and what energy you give. All of these deal with that. So, and this sounds like a broken record, but in reality, what we're doing is we're changing our mindset. We're changing our mind. We're dealing with the stuff that's in our subconscious mind that says this is a fear. You don't deal with this. This is a fear. This is negative because this happened in the past. This is negative. And we're cleaning that stuff out, and we're putting positive energy back in. Positive energy. That way when these situations from the past come up, we're like, oh, it is what it is. Like, okay, cool, great. That happened, great. Doesn't affect me. And you're able to move on. So, and the seventh principle is the principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. Everything has masculine and feminine. And you have to have that balance of your masculine energy and your feminine energy in order to have balance in life. So the sun and the moon has a perfect balance of masculine and feminine energy. Your sun being your masculine energy and the moon being your feminine energy. That is your perfect balance of masculine and feminine energy. And that's how we should balance ourselves on the inside. I know we associate gender now with what you look like on the outside, but what we look like on the outside has nothing to do with who we are on the inside, because everything has masculine and feminine, no matter if you're male or female. You have both. We are both. Even if we look into our, X and Y chromosomes, that you have masculine and you have feminine in that, because everything has masculine and feminine, and you have to have a balance with that. Everything you look at has masculine and feminine, because you got to have, even with batteries, you got a positive and a negative side, because you got to have both to have perfect balance. And that's just a small example of the sun, and then batteries are small examples. So that's within us too. You know why? Because as above, so below, as within, so without. So how we're made, everything around us is made the same way. That's why we balance the inside, and then you'll see a whole different change on the outside, because you'll realize that everything is always in flow and that we're all one. And then everything is one. We're all connected. So that's what I have for today. It's the 7 Hermetic Principles. If you want to know more about those, just reach out to me. You can also, if you want to book me for a channel session or a channel message, you can book me on intro. I'll drop the link below. Follow me on Facebook, Channel by Angel, to stay up to date. I will be doing like a spiritual class for beginners, just ways to help you kind of balance your chakras, to get them in alignment, because your chakras, when they're out of balance, you'll feel different aspects, like your root chakra. If your root chakra is out of balance, most of the time you have pain in your lower back. Your solar plexus, you have pain in your abdominal stomach issues. Your throat chakra, you have thyroid issues or stuff in your throat that's going on. Your crown chakra, you're not connected. So we talk about a lot of balancing the chakras, things of that nature, foods you can eat, healthy foods you can eat to help you balance those, things that you can do, different exercises, crystals and all those. So if you're interested in that, make sure you follow my Facebook page, Channel by Angel. I'll drop all the links below. I hope you guys have a amazing day. Remember, peace, love, and light. Send out positivity, because what you put out is what you get back in. And I hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. Later.